Hi, I am Dr. Vaibhav Kapoor. I'll be discussing today with you anal fistula. So I'll be first telling you about the basics of anal fistula, and then we will be discussing about the plan of management. How do you cure anal fistula? Okay. So to start with, this is our food pipe, which is called the esophagus. Then comes the stomach, comes the small intestine. The small intestine rotates to form large intestine. It goes like this, and we pass motion through this area. So this terminal portion is called as the anal canal. So we are going to discuss about this area. I'm going to make this big. Now this is a circular area. So this being the end portion of your canal. So what happens is 3 centimeters inside the anus there are anal cushions, and they get their blood supply from all the areas. So it's a circumferential thing with anal cushions and blood supply from all the areas. So what happens is sometimes these anal cushions, because of infection, burst out. So this is the beginning of anal fistula. So what actually does the word fistula mean? So fistula basically means anything which has 2 openings, one for entry, one for exit. So this is the basic meaning of fistula. If there is something through which we can enter, like a room, and we have to go through the same door, so this is not a fistula. Fistula means which will have an entry point separate and an exit point separate. So if we compare it with the body, there will be one entry point inside the body, another outside it. Okay, so now when these anal cushions get infected, they burst out. So when they burst out, slowly they try to come out, and a person generally complains that in the perianal area, in the area surrounding the anus, they have some kind of a pus discharge from any of these areas. So typically when a patient complains that there is some kind of pus discharge or blood discharge or infection discharge coming through surrounding area and not through the anus, the first diagnosis which comes into mind is anal fistula. So this is the basic meaning. One opening is generally outside the body and the other opening is inside the digestive tract. So this connections is generally called as the fistula. So there is one entry point and another exit point. There is one entry point and another exit point. So this basically is called as fistula. This is your external opening. This is your anal canal. These are the anal cushions. There is a muscle which is just along the wall of the anal canal. This is called as the internal sphincter muscle. I'll write ISM, the internal sphincter muscle. Then there is another muscle which comes like this and is surrounding this. So this is the external sphincter muscle. So around the anus there are 2 layers of muscle. So what happens is when this infection bursts out, so it can transverse both these muscles and come out of the body. So external opening on the skin, this is called as a transsphincteric fistula. Sometimes after bursting out, it doesn't transverse, it goes in between the 2 tracts like this. So it is between these 2 muscles, so it is called as a intersphincteric fistula. And there are 2 other types in which the fistula tract goes above, which is called as a suprasphincteric fistula. So this is basically the anal fistula. What are the causes of it? Again, constipation, one of the most important cause, irregular bowel habits, too much of diarrhea, too much of passing hard stools, people who smoke or who take a lot of alcohol have generally slow digestive system, and bad food habits, frequently eating outside, eating too much of junk, eating too much of oily spicy food, or some kind of infection inside can lead to development of these fistulas. What do patients complain of? So symptoms. The most common symptom which a patient complains is of discharge. So patient complains of discharge in the perianal region. So there is visible discharge surrounding the anal area. They may also complain of pain when they pass motion, and sometimes bleeding can happen. So how do you diagnose these perianal problems? One is clinical examination of the rectum and anal canal of rectum and anal canal. So this is basically done by a surgeon. So clinical examination is the most important thing. It is called as the per-rectal examination. Or proctoscopic examination. So with these two things we are able to diagnose the clinical condition. So a surgeon will examine you clinically. He'll do a per-rectal examination and a proctoscopic examination, and 90% of the times he is able to diagnose what problem do you have. Investigations like a MRI is only required in a very select few patients or in cases of complicated fistulas. Otherwise, apart from clinical examination, no radiological examination is required in diagnosis of problems of rectum and anal canal.